We are back. And just looking on the online chat, someone said to me, Natalie, you didn't listen to the whole Lawrence Fox debate. I did. I watched the whole show. I was saying that I personally disagree with lowering yourself to talking about sleeping with someone in a political debate. That's my opinion. But Lawrence Fox is absolutely free to say what he likes, and I am free to make a judgment on it. And I think that's how freedom of choice and freedom of speech works. You can say what you like, and people will judge you for it. But I'm not asking for him to be cancelled. But that's just how I see it. We can't all agree on everything, otherwise the world would be a very boring place. And that's why we are here on today's News Talk to give our opinions. And we have back to the show the one, the only, the legend that is Ben from Chasing Dissent. And we will be talking to him today about France. What's going on there? We've got a constitution change. Ben, can you let us know all about it?
Well, yes and no, because it really is such a blinking non-story. So France have, and the mainstream media have obviously lauded that France have decided to constitutionally amend their constitution to allow abortion to become a right. And now, I don't even want to get into the argument of whether or not abortion is right or wrong. I don't think that's the argument we need to make here. What I want to say is this. If you've ever been to France, and I spend a lot of time in France, nobody cares about this. It's such an absolute non-issue. And you can see that just by looking when they brought it to Parliament for a vote in their special vote yesterday. We have 784 and 72 against. Mm-hmm. This is all about political posturing. Emmanuel Macron is looking at the European parliamentary elections, which are going to occur in just a few months' time. And he's looking at the polls, and he's seeing the trajectory shift towards the right. National Action, I think they're called now, formerly Front National, are going to take the lead in that. And he's thinking, what can I do to garner a few more votes? And so he's done this, and he's saying, in response to Roe v. Wade being rolled back in the United States a couple of years ago, we're going to make sure it's a woman's absolute right to have an abortion. We're going to enshrine it in the Constitution. But like I said, nobody in France realistically cares about this. And all you have to do is look at the fact that Marine Le Pen herself stood up and voted with Emmanuel Macron on this. Nobody cares. I don't think this is the win that he thinks it is. I think he has done this just to garner some headlines. And I think what makes it even more obvious is the fact that he's inviting women to come and join us on International Women's Day to see it enshrined. This is all about vote garnering. It is nothing to do with women. 80% of the population in France would wholeheartedly agree that a woman's right to an abortion is a woman's right to an abortion. And yet here we are seeing it plastered over the news like it's something that it clearly isn't.
Yep, I would absolutely agree, Ben. And even Le Pen says, we will vote to include this in the Constitution because we have no problem with it. No one is putting the right to abortion at risk in France. This is the National Rally who are against them. It's almost like they're coming out as if to say, hold on a minute, this was never in question. How are you putting this forward as a political play? And I think we're going to see this across the board globally with a lot of elections coming up, aren't we? Putting things in the mainstream media, trying to act like they're doing things on our behalf, when really it's nothing but political point scoring, Ben.
You're absolutely right. And like I said, I spend a lot of time in France. And what I will say is this. All of my French friends are extremely liberal people. They really have. We've never had this discussion. And like I say, a lot of time. And I've got a fair few friends over there. We've never even had this discussion because it's just not on the tips of their tongues and it's just not on their minds. It's something that the French have believed is a right anyway. It doesn't need to be enshrined into the Constitution because it's just baked into the psyche over there. It's not an issue. It's a complete non-issue. But Emmanuel Macron, he's at this point grasping at straws. He almost got beat by Marine Le Pen a couple of years ago in the last presidential election. If she runs again, I'm pretty certain he will be beat, or whoever stands in his place will be beat by Marine Le Pen in the next presidential election in about 3 years' time. And we're going to see that's the case when we see Macron's party absolutely decimated in the European elections coming up. I don't think that he understands why people are angry at him. And he's just throwing anything at the wall, hoping it sticks, and saying, vote for me. Look, I care about the woman. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure
nice German accent
whose
you got
accent's
there
better.
as well, by the way.
I was going to
Nice
say,
German accent, Ben.
Rick, can you try, please? Because I know you like an accent. Can you see if you can outdo
Go
Ben
on,
on the
do it.
French
Do
Macron
it.
accent?
I am Emmanuel Macron, and I like
Oh, yeah.
very old women. I like old women, maybe 70 years plus. I don't like those young women. Yeah, so that's my Emmanuel Macron impression.
I have
good point,
a lot
by the
in
way.
common with Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's a dodgy boy too. And actually, Natalie and I had a little off-air wager here that we reckon both of those guys would get married eventually. We reckon that Trudeau left his wife, Emmanuel Macron, his wife must be on the cusp of death. She's a geriatric. So I reckon when she pops her clogs, they're going to get married together, possibly in 2025. But anyway, good point that you make, by the way. A super serious topic, of course. And as you rightly said, this isn't getting into the ins and outs of whether or not abortion is good or bad thing, but it's to do with political point scoring. Emmanuel Macron doesn't give a damn about women's rights. He doesn't give a damn about the rights of babies in their mother's womb. All he's trying to do is political point score here. It's pathetic. And one of the most pathetic things about the majority of politicians is they will take any topic at all that they think will win them votes. And you can see right through them. You can see right through them that they're only playing to a certain element of the political field. And that's exactly what Macron's doing. And another point that I want to make to you is this business about the Constitution, the French Constitution. Yeah. These words sound fantastic. We're enshrining it in the French Constitution. It's worth noting here as well that since the Constitution was enacted in 1958, it's been amended 17 times. So, okay, you're enshrining it in the Constitution, but it could be unenshrined at a later date down the line. It doesn't mean it's chipped into tables of stone and marble and they're going to be set up and never be amended. This could all change again. Maybe if the next government wants to score some points, they can unenshrine it from the Constitution. It's all very fickle.
Rick, can I just quickly add to that before putting it back to Ben, that we're talking about a constitution. So for me, in order for Macron to have changed that, there should have at least been some type of referendum. It seems to me he just woke up one morning and thought, I'm going to enshrine the constitution with something that I believe.
Sounds great.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna do that, surely shouldn't he be at least ask the public, what their view on abortion might be? No, but Macron knows, doesn't he? He can just change like an emergency law overnight. It makes me uncomfortable reading it, Ben. Just a politician being able to do something overnight without asking the public.
Well, at least he did ask the House, so there was a vote in. But it wasn't a vote of the people, as you say. But he didn't just wake up and sort of amend the Constitution. But even if he had done, the answer would have been exactly the same, because 80% of people, like I said, in France, already believe that a woman's right to have an abortion is a woman's right. And it's just such a non-issue because it's already a service that is available. It's not like he's changing the law to make something available that previously wasn't. So what's going on here except for political posturing? He knows his party is done. His goose is cooked. He has done too much wrong to the French people to hold their trust and to hold their vote. I mean, the farmers are out and about still, I believe, going after him. There's been a bit of a back off when it comes to the European Parliament at this time, but in France, they're still protesting hard. I saw them turning some government minister's house into a field the other day. That was quite funny. However, you look at COVID. You look at what he did to the French people during COVID, and everyone was angry. I've got some friends that work in Disneyland who, I will say this, blamed me every time they went into lockdown because I was in France the day before 2 of their lockdowns. So anytime I turned up, they're, oh no! But they are very angry. They are very upset. They are fed up with this posturing from these people. And it's not going to win them any votes. We're just seeing Natalie there have one hell of a fit. I'm hoping she's all right.
Conversation we're having here. Literally, it could be the death of Natalie Chael. You guys can't see it. Yeah. But hopefully, we're not going to cut to her, but she's literally dying off cam here, and we're watching her. And Ben, we shouldn't really be laughing and chuckling, but we are. It's quite amusing to see her suffer like this.
I'm okay. I had to mute my microphone. I just had an absolute coughing fit, so I've got tears running down my eyes. So it wasn't about Macron. It was just. Are
you sure?
I'm back, guys. I'm back.
Just take a moment, Nat. Just compose yourself. It's okay. We can wait.
Yeah, I'll put it back.
I'm trying to make a serious point here, and she's just in the background going.
It's just stolen your thunder. Yeah, it's very unprofessional of her. Very unprofessional to choke like that on air. Disgraceful behaviour altogether. Yeah. But listen, maybe I'll wrap this up just in case she starts spluttering again. But thank you very much, by the way, for bringing this one to their attention. And as you rightly said, this is about political posturing. First and foremost, and be under no illusion, Macron doesn't give a damn about the farmers. He doesn't give a damn about women or women's rights. He doesn't give a damn about babies. He doesn't give a damn about anything except Emmanuel Macron and his potential future, whatever's left of it. So, yeah, his goose is cooked. I think that's the best way you could have possibly put it. So, massive thanks to you, Ben, for chasing dissent. Yeah, we'll be with Ben tomorrow night. Strangely, he's invited both of us onto their podcast tomorrow night. It should be an absolute blast. That's Chasing Dissent on YouTube. So please support him. Support the guys. Him and John are doing a fantastic job there. And hopefully we'll see y'all tomorrow night on YouTube and Chasing Dissent. So there you go. And that, I don't know where that came from. That was a French accent. I don't think so. So we're going to take a...
Yeah.